Switch Station 32 back for another video. Today we're gonna do our first weekly news video, what's going on in the gaming world and everything, and my thoughts and opinions about everything. And let's get right into it. First of all, we're gonna start off talking about the new Monster Hunter Rise game coming out. Now, the new Monster Hunter Rise game looks really good on the Nintendo Switch. It's one of the best looking games on the Switch. They put out some gameplay of it. You can take the monsters, you can jump on them, you can ride them around and use them to fight the other monsters, and that all looked really cool. And there's a new demo that got dropped with it. You can download that right now and play it. That's going to be available until February. New monsters that you can fight. The monsters in it looks really cool. They went over a whole bunch of monsters, showed you in the trailer. Nintendo has it up. It's about an 18-minute trailer if anybody's interested. Go look at Nintendo. And it looks really good. It's probably the best looking Monster Hunter game on the Nintendo Switch by far, for sure. They announced new amiibos that are coming out alongside of the game, and they'll be available on launch day. And the amiibos look really cool. I really like the amiibos. I'm going to try to get those. They announced DLC that's coming out for it. It's available on March 26th. So anybody who's interested in Monster Hunter, I highly recommend this game because this is one of the best looking games on the Switch, and I'll be picking it up for sure. And if you're on the fence, try out the demo. And a surprise that a lot of gamers are excited for is the new Scott Pilgrim versus the World game. And the reason everybody's surprised about that is because that's a game, people that collect games are not fully keen on getting all digital games, because that was an all digital game on Xbox 360 and PS3, and it got delisted. So if you don't have that game downloaded onto your system, you can't re-download that because it got delisted. So even if you bought it, it's not available to download. You have to either have it downloaded, because after that date in 2014, you weren't allowed to download it because it was not on their store to re-download. Limited Run Games is making a physical copy for that game, and it looks really cool. They have the standard edition, it's for PS4 and Switch, and then they have a special edition that looks really cool too, and that comes with the game and a little bit of goodies. It comes in a box like an old Sega Genesis game, and then it has the big jumbo collector's edition, and that one's insane. There's a lot of stuff in that one. So if you guys want the physical edition, I recommend getting it from Limited Run Games. But a couple of days after Limited Run announced it, Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft all announced that Scott Pilgrim vs. World is going to be on their available for download on the PlayStation Store and the eShop, so you can buy it digitally again now. So that's really cool too. So if you want to get it digitally, you can. It's going to be back on the PS4, the Switch, Xbox, whatever you want to play it on. And if you want to get a physical copy, get it from Limited Run. And then Lucas Game Studios, announced that their partnership with EA, their exclusive deal, is starting to end. Now, they also said EA is going to be still making games for them. So that's actually a good thing, because now there's going to be more competition and more frequent Star Wars games coming out. And Ubisoft announced that they're working with Lucas Games to make a new open world Star Wars game. I'm really excited for that. I think Ubisoft, and they pump their games out too, so they'll be, once they get it rolling, they'll be able to start pumping them games out quite a bit. The only thing that was interesting to me, the studio that makes Division 2 is going to be the ones that are making the new Star Wars open world game. I was thinking it was either going to be the Assassin's Creed team or the Immortal Phoenix Rising team, but it's the team behind Division 2. So we'll see how that turns out. But I'm really excited for it. And then they also, Lucasfilms, announced that they're making a new Indiana Jones game with Bethesda. And it was interesting for the studio that's going to make that too, because that's going to be from this team that makes the Wolfenstein games, the first-person shooter. We assume Indiana Jones is going to be a third-person adventure game, kind of like Tomb Raider, but we'll see how it turns out, but I'm looking forward to that too. I love the Tomb Raider games. The Tomb Raider games are awesome, so if it's anything like that, I'm going to be really pumped for that. Then a quick little update for anybody that bought the Sony 900H 4K TV, that anybody was worried about it. They took the delisting for their VRR update that they're supposed to come out with, that they promised the consumers before they bought it. Anybody that bought a PS5 that were worried about HDMI and 120 frames per second gaming and VRR, they promised them that they were going to put an update out for that TV, and they recommended that TV. Well, they delisted the VRR off their checklist a few days ago, and everybody was upset about it. I can see why. I'd be upset too. But a few days later, people got in touch with Sony, and they said that the update is still happening. So everything I read after that says that they are coming out with the update. So that's a good thing for anybody that went and bought the 900H for their PS5. Because VRR is a big deal for people that want to play 120 frames per second at 4K. Because no games are going to be actual 120 frames per second in 4K. They're all going to be 110, 90, they had a different frame. And what VRR does is corrects that, so it fixes the illusion of it on your TV, so it actually looks like it's 120 frames even when it's missing frames. Okay, so that's a big deal to not have VRR for anybody that wants to have 4K gaming at 120 when they actually start making games that support that on the new consoles. So I'd be upset too if I didn't have that. So anyways, moving on to the next topic. And then the new Hogwarts Legacy game coming out for the PS4 and PS5 got pushed back a little bit to 2022. And I'm all for getting pushed back. I'd rather it get pushed back and come out when it's done instead of coming out like Cyberpunk did, where it's broken and it's not looking as good as missing frames. So if they got to push it back, let them push it back. That game's going to look amazing. And anybody that's a huge Harry Potter fan, I should be looking forward to that game, because I think that's going to be a big sleeper hit in 2022. Nintendo put out the new trailer for Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, and that game looks really good. Anybody that missed out on that on Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U, I highly recommend getting it on the Switch. That game is really good. We have a lot of the Wii U games, but we get them on the Switch because it's just easier to have them on the Switch. I like having the cartridges. I think whatever Nintendo's next console is going to be backwards compatible, so it's a big reason why too. But the game looks awesome. The new Bowser's Fury mode looks really cool. You run around, you collect stuff, and then Bowser is like a big Godzilla Bowser. He tries to fight you, and then eventually you can be a big, kind of like a Godzilla cat, and then you fight Bowser, and that's how you ultimately beat him. But it looks really cool. The trailer looks really cool. And another really neat feature is they're going to have local online. So you can play 4-player Mario 3D World with your friends. I can see me and one of my buddies doing that for sure. And I'm really looking forward to that. They announced a new set of amiibos to go with it. A new Mario Cat and Peach Cat. And they look really neat. They look really good with the amiibo collection. That's coming out February 12th. And I highly recommend that game for anybody that missed out on it. They also announced right after that on Twitter that they're coming out with a new special edition Super Mario Nintendo Switch for the 35th anniversary, and that looks really cool. I really like the red and the blue. It's a first Switch that's had the whole console itself been a different color. They've had different docks. They've had the different colored Joy-Cons, different print and stuff on the dock, but they haven't had to change the actual color of the console itself, and that one's all red. It looks really nice. The only other dock that I think that I'm aware of that had a different dock was the Animal Crossing one that was a different color, and we have that one. And That's a really nice dock. So we'll see what the Super Mario one looks like in real life. But that Super Mario 35th Anniversary Collection, if it's only going to be a handful of them made, and they're not going to keep making them, I highly recommend pre-ordering that, because once that's sold out, if they're not going to keep making them, you're probably not going to find one, because they're going to sell out really fast. Especially where it's a Mario 35th Anniversary one. And then the new Pokemon Snap game got a new trailer. And that game looks cool if you're a Pokemon fan. It was a Nintendo 64 game originally, and they're remaking it for the Switch. And it looks really neat. It's supposed to be quick. You're supposed to be able to beat it in 4 or 5 hours, but there's a lot of replayability to go through it. There's over 200 Pokemon announced for it. So you're probably gonna be able to go through it 3, 4, or 5 times before you get all the Pokemon. So you're gonna be a lot of replayability with it. And that game is you can pre-order it February 14th, and it's coming out April 30th. And also, this month was a really good month for PlayStation Plus too, I thought. You got Maneater on the PS5, and there's not a lot of PS5 games out right at the moment. To get a PS5 game is really cool. So anybody that has a PS5, you're getting 3 games right now. And Maneater, it looks pretty interesting. I hear it's a pretty underrated game. I'm definitely going to try it out. I already have it downloaded. And then Shadow of the Tomb Raider for PS4. One of my favorite games. I love the Tomb Raider series. I highly recommend anybody that missed out on that to go play them. I really liked all of them. They go in order, but you can play them separately. And then Greedfall. Greedfall is a game I've been looking forward to playing for a long time. I kept putting it off, but now it's free, so I'm definitely going to give it a try. It's kind of like an Assassin's Creed open world, kind of like a Fallout mixture. It kind of looks like a Fallout game, but it plays like an Assassin's Creed. A lot of story, a lot of stuff going on like a Fallout. But that game looks really interesting. I recommend that anybody that's looking for an open world game, a game you're going to get a lot of hours out, to try Greedfall. It's free. And that'll be Switch Station 32, back for another video. I hope you like the news video. And we're going to try to get a lot more of the stuff like this on the channel. I'm going to try to do a weekly news video, and then still do every other video that we've been doing on the channel. And 2021 should be a good year for the channel. And that'll be Switch Station 32, back for another video. If you like it, leave a like and a subscribe. It really helps the channel grow.